Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live, talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynn@pghcitypaper.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Hello there, and welcome to the program. Gee, I'm using my own computer, and I don't see a date. I always use the date that it said on. What the hell date is it?
22nd.
It's what, 22nd? I don't even know who gives a damn, but it's the 22nd of September 2017. And it's a pleasure to be here with you. By the way, I'm told that our ability to take calls is now 98% to fruition, which, of course, ain't good enough for today, but we should have it up. It's been unbelievable. Every time you think there's another, it's just, you know what? It's complicated. Everything is complicated, and usually complicated by human beings as opposed to technology. So that's just the way it is, guys. And damn it, if I can't hear your voices on Monday, I'll have a major snit fit. Oh, God. Where to start? Did you see a little item in the paper not too long ago that said that Trump had actually appointed some attorney, I think at Federated, I'm pointing over to Federated Investors here, an attorney at Federated Investors as the new U.S. attorney, the chief prosecutor in these here parts, maybe the Western District of PA. And I forget his name, but obviously he has to be now confirmed by the Senate, which is at the moment sort of preoccupied trying to take health care away from 32 million Americans. So I don't know when they'll get around to this guy's nomination, but I hadn't seen this before. Maybe you have. It really is astonishing. Trump, you know, how we were saying, he has not filled all these positions from when he won, when he was inaugurated. And on top of that, he didn't let people stay in, like who were Obama appointees, while he was ferreting around for people to replace them, which only makes sense to do. He told everyone, pack up your bags and get the hell out, so that there were like next to no U.S. attorneys even functioning in these United States. Well, he since, I guess, has finally pretty much found people that he wants in all of those positions, including this guy from Federated, who I don't know anything about. The point is that he has managed to finally replace most, at least nominate to replace, most of the 46 U.S. attorneys that he canned the first day in office. 46, he told them, pack your bags and get the hell out. The most famous being the guy in New York City. So that's 46 needed to replace. He has now, let's give the guy some credit, somehow somebody in that administration has found 42, we should only hope, sentient human beings to replace 42 of the Obama appointees, leaving only 4 left without a suggested replacement, a nominated replacement. But here's the thing. So he managed to get 42 people to fill positions in the U.S. Attorney's Office. How many of them are white? I'm just asking. How many of them are white? We're talking 42. 42. How many of them are white? I'm going to pick on Charlie because he's sitting here. Throw out a number here. 42. Trump knows something about optics, I would think. Okay, so
36.
You think 36 of the 42 are white.
I do.
That's a good guess. It's incorrect, however.
Am I low or high?
You're low.
Oh. I was gonna say 30.
You're low. Now, of the 42 currently nominated, 40 are white.
I'm not surprised, I guess.
How many are women?
None.
That's a good guess, too. Although you're wrong. 1. 1 woman out of 42.
He doesn't care about optics, that's for sure.
2 blacks out of... So what does that mean? So it means there's there's at least 2 black men or 1 black woman or 1 white one. Out of 42! I mean, you have to actively try for numbers like that. I mean, that's not just, we couldn't find any. It's not like there are women and blacks in the pipeline now. I mean, I'm sure if we were to look at the 42, and I didn't see the rundown, that's what I'd like to see. Who were the 42? What's the racial and gender component that Obama managed? Jeez! No, this is so much an administration of white men. It is just blinding. About the only non-white man, and I'm thinking off the top of my head, that seems to have some power or certainly some standing in the administration is Nikki Haley, our ambassador to the United Nations, who's much in the news these days simply because our illustrious, well, actually that gets to Nambia. Our illustrious president was at the UN all week making friends and influencing people. And he had a special meeting with the African leaders. There are pictures of these African leaders sitting around with like looks of absolute disgust, disbelief, stone-faced. And he praised one of them. He praised Nambia, which doesn't exist. The great country of Nambia, for doing all kinds of stuff. Man, you Nambians, you are doing it. You are doing it. Now, it's unclear what he was thinking of. I think he was thinking of Namibia. That's my guess, right? Namibia, or maybe he was thinking of Zambia. No, I don't know. Nambia, Zambia, or Nambia, Namibia. You take your pick. I don't know. But how offensive is that? Not even having a clue. And the other thing he said, which was actually worse, he's talking to him. He's off the cuff, and he's talking about, man, things are happening in Africa. It's just amazing. Why, I got to tell you. I really want to get the exact quote. Here it is. I have so many friends going to your countries to get rich. That's what he said. I have so many friends going to your countries to get rich. And this imbecile thinks that he's telling them something wonderful. Any friends of his are crooks. Let's start with that. Crooks looking for an easy dollar. The friends he has going over to Africa are not investing in Africa. They're looking to exploit whatever natural resources they can. So here he is sitting there, and believe me, these heads of state of African countries know full well what Trump's rich friends are doing in their countries. helping to corrupt them. God. All right, well, I'm just saying that's... And I don't mean to be petty. But what the hell was Melania wearing when she gave the speech she gave? Did you see what she was wearing? I'm sorry. I was really like... I did a... did you see it? What was that? And I know it's petty, it's sexist, it's everything. But I was blown away. She looked like she was wearing like a pink fat suit. It was the most bizarre. If that was a dress, did you see it? Are you looking at it now? I mean, it's just bizarro. Yeah. It made her look like she was like inside a pink balloon or something, and she could easily just float away right over the heads of the all the folks that were there. And she generally, dresses well, like the model she is, but gee whiz, I couldn't even, I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure a lot of the people in the room couldn't hear a word she said. And she was, of course, as you probably know, talking about bullying and, oh, excuse me, and how we have to learn to, be empathetic. And she was talking, saying our children are watching us. Our children are what? Am I not on?
No, you're on. You're good.
Oh, okay. I see guys. I see dead people. I see guys with like serious looks on their faces whispering to each other just to my right, and I just assume that something terrible's happened. They say no. Okay. So anyway, hello. I forgot what I was saying.
Pink balloon suit.
What?
Pink balloon.
Oh, the pink balloon thing, yeah. But I thought I should move on. Oh, she was talking about the, bullying and stuff. When, I mean, come on. Everything she was decrying is something her husband is known for. I mean, is infamous for. Oh, dear. So this new health care bill, this is scary. This is scary. Did you see who was like at the sort of the godfather of it? Did you see who's the one who first bent Lindsey Graham's ear in the Senate barbershop about, hey, I got an idea for a new way to go after Obamacare? Rick Santorum. Rick Santorum is the healthcare genius behind this latest stunningly cruel bill. That's what Paul Krugman calls it. Stunningly cruel bill. Well, I mean, it's no big surprise to us. You thought he was out of office. Well, he is out of office, but he's still, I guess, once you're out of office, it doesn't mean you can't go back to the Senate barber and get a free friggin' haircut. So I guess that's where he was, getting a free friggin' haircut. And there was Lindsey Graham getting his free friggin' haircut. These sons of bitches with their free Cadillac health insurance that shields them and their families, I guess, in perpetuity, because you're so generous, because you've given them that. And here are these guys getting all their freebies, and that's where the plot began. And what came out of that little meeting in the barbershop is what we now know as, I'm already blanking on the name. What's it called? The Graham who was the other? Cassidy, that's right. And I was looking today. There are finally some people, because the CBO has not had time to do a full report on the consequences of this measure if it were to pass, but others have. And Cassidy represents Louisiana. He's a senator from Louisiana. And his state, Louisiana, stands to lose a huge percentage amount of federal dollars under the bill that bears his name. Now, it's odd because Lindsey Graham over there in the Carolinas, his state's going to make out like a bandit. I bet Cassidy never read this damn bill. By the way, Pennsylvania, we get screwed. On the way in, I was hearing our now outgoing Congressman, Republican Dent, saying that he would never vote for this bill, that he looked at it and what it would do to his state of Pennsylvania, and that it absolutely will harm people here. That doesn't stop Toomey, who's on board. Here's what I don't understand. How do they have the gall to push so aggressively? I mean, you've got every one of them practically on board. A bill they have not seen, a bill that they did not allow public hearings, expert testimony, a bill that will impact a huge percentage not only of our population, but of our economy, a bill that will, in fact, kill people. And they're cramming this baby through because they understand one thing: power and how to use it. And they've got power now. They control both houses of the Congress and the White House. But how do they sleep when what they're pushing, now we know, will literally take tens of millions of Americans off the health insurance rolls, many of whom had been off almost all their lives and just finally got coverage under Obama? How do they blatantly lie to us? They tell people that don't worry, if you have a pre-existing condition, you'll be okay. That's a lie. It's a lie. Every health-related health care organization in this country has come out and said this bill stinks to high heaven. The doctors say it, the American Medical Association. The insurance companies say it, the insurance industry, Blue Cross Blue Shield. My God, every single Medicaid overseer in every single state of the country, all 50 Medicaid supervisors from every state, red, blue, purple, and in between, have jointly, unanimously signed a letter to the Congress saying this thing is beyond horrible. It will have nothing but a negative impact. What makes these Republicans so immune to listening to not only legitimate concerns, but legitimate concerns from every sector of the country? every sector of the economy, everybody who knows anything about how healthcare, I was going to say works in this country, how it doesn't work, but how it stumbles around. Everyone involved in that screwed up process is saying, this will make things worse. It will make things so much worse. It will literally, like that, destabilize everything. And I can assure you, because it will destabilize everything, when insurance companies get scared, when they don't know what the hell is going on, they know to do just one thing. Yeah. They raise their rates. Charlie, could I have a little more audio in my head?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm going deaf, and I need more. More. There. Believe it or not, that's what I need.
You got it.
Back in the day when I was just starting to have headphones on my head, I used to be stunned because I would sometimes come in after Doug Hirth had done his show, and so all the levels were set for him, and I'd stick my headset on, and if it hadn't been recalibrated and it started up at his level, I literally was blown out of my chair. I thought perforated eardrums. And what I have found is that when people work in radio with these things on, little by little, they ratchet up the volume. And gee whiz, Doug Hirth was listening at a decibel level that was, painful. I'm nowhere near it. I really don't know. Guys, the only thing that stopped this disaster of repeal last time was, I think, John McCain and We the People. And, man, all over the internet are the phone numbers of who to call. They need to be deluged. Now, one of you, Beth, sent me a email that she wrote to her senator. Beth is in West Virginia, and her senator, Capito, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, I think was a no vote last time around. Yes. And I'm not sure where she is now, but she is a swing vote, I believe. And Beth tried to call, that's important. So she's a constituent. She tried to call Capito's office. And you can't even get a pickup. You don't even get a message saying our mailbox is full or our answering machine is full. We're sorry, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. And Beth was really freaked about that. She says, I'm wondering if this is the new tactic, just simply refusing to be available. She says it's like Toomey style of constituent services, which is, I can't hear a word you're saying, can't hear. That's Toomey. It's worked for him, actually. And Beth sent me the thing she wrote, but it shows up on my so little, and not only is my hearing going, my eyes ain't so good either. I can't. Here's what she says. I am writing you since no one is answering the phone at your local offices, and all mailboxes are full. I ask, as many of us in West Virginia are asking you, to vote no on the ACA replacement that Senators Graham and Cassidy are putting forth. As someone who lives in West Virginia, the state government cannot maintain or present a second world road system, let alone have them manage health care. The Graham-Cassidy bill, to pardon my French, is just crap legislation. I don't think you have to say pardon my French for crap. Crap. The thing I find most offensive is the way this very important matter is being handled by the Senate. This affects every American, and yet you have zero input from us. From us. Everyday, non-PAC lobbyist citizens who have not been able to address where the ACA is good and where it's very bad. This is something the party has said it is going to get right. And yet by this dismissive process you and other members are showing, healthcare will be wrong again. Please stop this MTV style of legislation. What's that mean? MTV style. I'm not getting the metaphor, but that doesn't mean it ain't good. Please stop this MTV style of legislation. Vote no and take the process seriously and get it right. Please bring some sense of professionalism back to the U.S. Senate. Thank you. Thank you, Beth. I think it's very well done. Very well done. You think she'll ever see it? Oh, Lord. Chuck writes, for some weird reason, the rush on the vote on this health care plan has something to do with a simple majority. Yeah. I don't know what... Okay, I'll keep reading. I've read a few articles and I still don't understand. But they can pass this thing with a simple majority if they vote by the end of this month. And after that, they would need 60 votes. I am completely confused. It's like they're making up rules as they go. Yeah, welcome to the U.S. Senate. The U.S. Senate is infamous for these arcane rules, for these parliamentary loopholes, ins, outs. I do not know either why the end of September they lose the ability to destroy so many lives with only a majority vote as opposed to 60. 60 they could never reach. So this is their only shot. And I don't know either, Chuck. Maybe I did read it once. But it's just some arcane bullshit, whatever it is, that allows them to make an end run around normal process. Bastards. What else? Oh, Puerto Rico. I have a friend from Puerto Rico who I just happened to see here. He lives in New York. And I've been in touch with him, and he is beside himself. He says he slept 6 hours in the last 2 days. He has no way to reach his family, to find out if they're alive, if he suspects they're not okay. There's a reason that Governor Cuomo, New York, is heading down there, I guess, today. Because he represents a substantial number of Puerto Ricans who live in New York. You know, I had trouble living without power for like 2 hours. They're talking months. I don't even know how people function. The way the world is rigged up now, we ain't rigged to live without power. I mean, back in the day, before we were so damn smart, we coulda. But now we live in a way that power is a must. People will die. My heart goes out. And right now, that damn storm is ravaging some other little islands. God almighty. Is there another one spinning behind it? I don't even, I've gotten, I can't even look. They're at Maria, right? So MN. The next one's an N. Is there an N out there or no? God. Let's name the next one Nambia for President Trump. Okay. Henri writes, just a sampling of the hundreds of organizations opposing this bill. The American Heart Association's press release said, quote, the Senate draft health care bill is literally heartless. That from the American Heart Association. It's heartless. Yeah, well, Krugman called it what? Something stunningly cruel. And here are some of the, he gives me some of the, listen to all these people who say no, 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 and they don't hear. The American Medical Association, the American Hospital Association, the American Association of Medical Colleges, the American College of Physicians, the American Academy of Family Physicians, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the National Association of Medicaid Directors. That was, as I told you, unanimous. American Psychiatric Association, the Federation of American Hospitals, America's Essential Hospitals, AARP, American Lung Association, the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse, American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, the U.S. Conference for Catholic Bishops, and Henry just got sick of typing. It's endless. They obviously fear no one. They know they got things sort of like rigged enough that they can thumb their nose at all of these people who, and organizations that will feel the brunt if this thing passes. I'm sure you have too. I mean, reading the impacts in various states, and it is mind-blowing. And they're trying to bribe Senator Murkowski of Alaska. They think they can get her vote if they make things really good in her state. So that okay, so what do you need? What can we give you? She's one you got to call. She's one you have to call. She's under unbelievable pressure from her party, and she has to feel more pressure from outside her party. But apparently what I saw is what they're essentially saying to her is, okay, if we pass this bill, Alaska can stay on Obamacare. We'll just sort of exempt you. Now, something like that. Understand that. They're saying the other 49 states will we're going to do this too. But all right, if you want to stay with Obamacare, you can do that. These people have no principle whatsoever. And to return to another subject that leaves you slack-jawed, the ongoing mudslinging, schoolyard back and forthing of two heads of state of nuclear power countries, both I think certifiably insane. Donald Trump, Kim Jong-un. So Kim Jong-un has been heard from, and he can do these kinds of tweets every bit as good as Donald Trump. So he gives as good as he gets, and back and forth they go. There was a lot of talk about the name he called Trump, because people said, what the hell's that? What is that? I have an answer. What is the definition of dotard or dotard? Because that's what he called the president, a dotard. Well, there's lots of definitions, and it is an English word that has fallen out of usage, but not apparently in the thesaurus that his translator had. He says, I will surely and definitely tame the mentally deranged U.S. dotard with fire. Now, the fire he got from Trump, who's, said, we'll go at you with fire and fury. So, dotard, the definition is generally a person in his or her dotage, an old person, but somebody, the implication is somebody who is senile. So, there you have it. Dotard. Imbecile is another word, synonym for it. Chaucer used the word in the Canterbury Tales. Shakespeare used dotard in King Lear and the Merchant of Venice, and that was their intent, was that they were saying this person is an imbecile. Tolkien liked the word dotard, and on and on and on. It is a word. It has been used. And it has been reintroduced to the English-speaking world by Kim Jong-un. All right. Oh, my God. Okay, there it is. What else do I want to talk to you about? Well, so last week, I keep thinking it's Monday. It wasn't last week. It was earlier in the week. I told you a story, I think, about meeting this Soviet citizen. It was still the Soviet Union, who was visiting this country for the first time, and how I took him to a giant eagle, I think in Penn Hills, and how he was paralyzed by the sheer volume of choices. He didn't make it through much of the store. I could see that. I mean, he was really, getting sick. He couldn't process it. So I'm remembering that we just did produce, and then we walked through one of the aisles and it was the cereal aisle that finally just did him in. And I mean, he said, like, who needs all this? He was stunned. And I said, I was blown away. I thought I was going to blow his mind. Well, I did, but he blew my mind too. It was a joint blowing of minds that day, because I saw a different perspective on what to me was just, oh yeah, that's a store. We got 700,000 kinds of shampoo. And why wouldn't you? And one of you, and I've since I don't have the email, one of you wrote me that you also had, in your own way, had this, grew to have the same reaction as our grocery stores got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it took 5 hours to navigate, and there were so many choices that literally you could lose your mind. I mean, the number of decisions that you have to make. So you said that you decided to downsize and find a place that didn't offer so much crap. You don't need that much. So you, whoever you were, 'cause I can't remember which one of you did it, said, my wife and I, we go to Aldi's. It doesn't have half the crap. It has, however, everything you need. That's such an un-American kind of point of view. Everything you need? Who cares about need? We're all about want. We're an aspirational people. So I want to tell you that on the front page of the Wall Street Journal today, there's a big story about Aldi. And it's fascinating because it absolutely dovetails with the story of the Soviet guy and with the email from you, because it says right up here at the top, this is a German company, by the way, it says Aldi is betting billions that it can win over spoiled American shoppers. And their game plan? Offering fewer choices. Way, way fewer choices than their rival retailers. Now, that would seem like a really stupid business plan, right? Because Americans are all about more. Aldi's is about less. Let's get things back to some kind of a reasonable thing. And let me tell you, they're starting to take off. They have in Europe for years, but they are starting to take off here. And so the billions that they're about to spend is to build thousands of new Aldi's in the American market, because they think Americans are now up to here with ludicrous abundance, with so many choices. And the fact that Aldi only stocks a certain number of items means that they don't have anywhere near the overhead of a Giant Eagle or a Walmart or any of those other places, so they can sell cheap. Let me tell you, most Aldi stores stock, I mean, I don't know if you've ever thought, geez, how many separate items does like a Giant Eagle Market District stock? I mean, it's got to be thousands upon thousands, maybe in one aisle. Well, Aldi stocks at most 1,600 items in a store. That's the biggest thing that you're ever going to see. Most are lower than that. 1,600 separate items that are available to a shopper at an Aldi's. You know what a Walmart stocks? 120,000 items. You shop at a Walmart, you get a slightly lower price, right? 120,000 items. Aldi stocks 1,600 items. The average supermarket in the United States stocks 20 to 50,000 items. So we are talking, an incredible reduction in the choices available. But understand, everything you need is there. Aldi's prices are on average, and listen to this, all you Walmart shoppers, Aldi's prices are on average 17% lower than Walmart's. 17% lower than Walmart's. if I were managing the budget of the families that buy their food at Walmarts, I would say, duh. And a lot of people think that Aldi's is seeing this correctly, that Americans are sick of this excess. You know, I'll tell you, the young ones I know are. And maybe this is, if you want a position for the future, they think it's stupid. And I don't like it either. I hate going to these big supermarkets. We have to walk for miles to find. You need 6 things, okay? And then you have to walk for miles, and half the time they don't have the one thing you did want. So the head of Aldi says, poor people need us, and rich people love us. Every single item in an Aldi's is taste tested by Aldi's. Because they carry so few items, they can ensure that everything on their shelves is high quality. That's what they say. That's how they roll. The ground floor of the Aldi headquarters in Germany has a kitchen where the company's executives and buyers are constantly sampling the foods that are in their stores. It's a whole different thing. Aldi's. You watch, there's going to be one opening right near you if you don't have one. Check it out. I know it feels like, oh my God, but there's just nothing. I mean, but where's the well, fine, then go and, go for that one thing to some other store where you got it. But basics? Not that I'm trying to push a German company here or whatever. Hi, Lynn, says Bree. I just shopped at Aldi's. This came out as Al Discuss. I think that's your, they didn't recognize Aldi's, your spell check. I just shopped at Aldi's when I loved in West Germany. Shall I read this like spell check did it or you? I first shopped at Al Discuss when I loved in West Germany. At the time, Germany did not have peanut butter, and the U.S. and the us did not have Nutella. Of course, now both do. I was an exchange student. What I noticed as biggest difference was breakfast cereals. Yeah, really. So Germans only had muesli and some granola. We had full aisles of cereals. Oh, yeah, we got... And you know what's funny in the Wall Street Journal? Under the Aldi story is another front page story on an American cereal, Trix. And how, I guess, Trix tried to be more healthy or something. So they stopped using whatever dyes they used to make their bowl full of cereal with all these, purple and red. And so they started using vegetable dyes, and the Trix looked pretty uncolorful with the vegetable dyes. I don't know if you can see the difference. Is that on? I mean, Can you look at I can't see the screen. And so Trix, apparently, it didn't last long. All the people that bought Trix went ballistic and said, "Get that natural shit out of my kid's cereal. You go back to the red dye number 10 and the purple dye number 4 because that's what my kid wants." Okay? So it's interesting that there it is. Aldi and then Trix. American companies, of course, going in the wrong direction. And I don't know what to tell you. Mike in D.C. says another reason Aldi's can stay cheap is because there are only 3 Yes, 3 employees in the store at one time. Are you sure of that? I was in my Aldi's a few weeks ago, and another customer complained about the long checkout lines. Oh, they do mention long checkout lines. They do. Now, that might be something that they've got to remedy if Americans are going to tolerate it. I think Europeans are more willing to stand on line, as they say, or in queues, although we're getting better at it, too. And a complaint of the long checkout lines, and the employee said to this complaining customer, "There are only 3 employees in this store at any one time. It's one of the ways we keep our prices low." Okay, yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, that's an interesting wrinkle. Chuck writes, "Lynn, that was me who emailed. I thought it was Chuck who emailed you about Aldi's. You have to realize that stores like Giant Eagle are designed to keep you in the store longer, so you will spend more." Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Your bank is there now. You can drop your laundry off now. You can get your drugs there now. When we switched to Aldi's, we not only saved money, but we saved an hour or two of precious time, because it just doesn't take that long to go through a little Aldi's. And it's not just that you're saying 17% on average, saving 17% on average. You're saving even more because you're not enticed to buy things you normally wouldn't. So since switching to Aldi's 3 years ago, our grocery bill has gone down 40%, and that is no exaggeration. I have a friend who was singing the praises. She said, all I ever do, I had a dinner party maybe about a month ago, and everybody brought something, and she brought stuff. And I said, ooh, this is good. She said, got it. She doesn't cook. She said, Aldi's. She said, I always shop at Aldi's. They've got it. So, just saying. Huh? Just saying. What? I only have 7 minutes left? What the hell happened? Huh?
Time flies.
Time flies? Okay. Well, okay, I just want to say this about the football player Aaron Hernandez, who seemed to be a monster, and now we're finding out that his brain was absolutely riddled from chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE. Here's what's amazing. He was only 27 years old. And apparently his brain looked worse than some of the old pros, who die in their 60s, and they look at their brains. His, the 27-year-old brain, was worse. And he was not a lineman going bang, bang, bang with his head. He was a tight end. That might explain why he was a murderer. I don't know. And it might explain why he killed himself. Because so many who have CTE die by suicide. So, I'm just saying, I can't anymore. 27. It means he was already messed up in his early 20s because he played football. And not even at the highest contact position. How does the NFL survive this? Participation in youth football and high school football in many, many states around the country is way down. Guess where it's way up, though? It's actually way up. Since knowledge of CTE and all of this has come, it is up in the South. Because, Southerners don't listen to no scientific discovery information stuff. Now, if it's going to interfere with our football. So there's actually more little Southern boys being pushed into football. When my understanding is all the experts now say do not let kids play contact football until high school at the earliest. Hernandez didn't play until high school. Dead, 27. Just another suicide of a football player. I don't know how you can watch anymore. Little Tony writes, Lynn, all I can say is thank God for Aldi's. I have one close by that I can walk to. If you go bring a quarter for a cart and your own bags, you have to pay a quarter to get a cart?
Yes, and then when you put it
Oh,
back, you get your quarter.
Oh, I see. So you put a quarter in, you get a cart, and then when you put the cart back, you get your quarter back. If you go bring a quarter for a cart and your own bags, and you get your quarter back when you're done with it. Okay. I was in an Aldi's a long time ago. Long time ago. And I got some really good apples there. I know some people say, well, their produce can't be that good. Their meats aren't that good. I don't know. I remember buying some apples, and they were really good. Just saying. And am I still on? Yeah. Do you have something?
No, 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes. Why can't I see? Oh, yeah. Okay. That's right. Oh, and I just want to, I got this, despicable man of the day. That'd be Tom Price. Used to be a congressman. Now he's the head of the Health and Human Services Department and the main guy on, taking health care away from you. This SOB, Politico, I think, did some digging around. And just last week alone, this SOB chartered 5 different jets for himself to get to a meeting here, there, or the other place. When there were certainly commercial flights, when there were, in one case, the Excella train, which, by the way, Vice President Joe Biden took every day. The Vice President! Oh, no, I don't think he did when he was Vice President. He was already in Washington. When he was a senator, that's what he took to and from work every day. And since I saw this article, I think on Saturday. No, see, it's not Monday, Cullen. It is not Monday. When I saw it on Tuesday. Jesus. I'll probably be in tomorrow.
I'll be in just a
You will. I'll probably come in to do the show tomorrow. I am so mixed up. Anyway, I saw something this morning that said they've upped the thing, and they found he has spent over hundreds of thousands of dollars on charter jets since he got into. What's this thing with Trump's cabinet and airplanes? What is this? Mnuchin, this son of a bitch. And these are the guys that want to we're budget busters. We're cutting things left and right. We're this and that. And they can't get enough for themselves. I know that I shouldn't say it, but I truly loathe these guys. I loathe them. I don't recognize them as fellow humans Or maybe I do, but I just, it says something about humans, doesn't it? It's not particularly flattering. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so I think I'll be here on Monday if I don't think it's Wednesday or Thursday. I hope I get my head screwed back on, and I hope, but I don't expect, because I have learned in the School of Hard Knocks that maybe we'll have your voices. Here's our phone. $5 at Walmart, right? That's not the problem. The problem is with this more expensive thingamajiggy thing. We'll figure it out. We'll get it. Listen, have a great weekend, will ya? Good. Enjoy the autumnal weather. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.